Mike froze, and he's in the good spot. Womp, womp, womp.
This is the Drop Podcast, where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott. And this episode is presented by the Law Office of Mallon and Tranger.
What's going on, everyone? Another great week, as always. Again, Mike and I are blown away that you guys continue to follow, like, rate, review. So thank you so much. You can keep following, listen, rating, and subscribing to us on Spotify at The Drop Podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube page. Check out all the content we're putting out there. That's The Drop Golf Podcast. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. Those handles are at @thedrop_pod. Like, subscribe, follow, and listen along.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you look at some of the numbers to where they were just last week, YouTube's gotten over 100 subscribers already. Instagram is sniffing 300. You know, the amount of views that some YouTube shorts have gotten and Instagram reels are just out of this world in terms of can't believe it's really happening. So we do appreciate you guys checking in and continue to put out, the best type of material and content and podcasts that we can. So, I appreciate it as well.
All right, Mike. We've had a big week so far, and we also have a special guest on at the end. We were able to get to Eagle Ridge and interview the head professional there, Rylee Plitz. She was absolutely awesome. It was great to spend some time with her. We went to the driving range and we were able to set up shop out there. We'll send that to you at the end. Okay. So, Eagle Ridge. Mike has a affinity with. I know him and his father played there a whole bunch. His dad has a crew of people there, being a member, and so I know that he's played the course a number of times, as have I, but not nearly as many times. So they have, if you don't know about Eagle Ridge, they have 3 9-holes, the Ridge, the Pines, and the Links, all very distinctly different. The Links, obviously, wide open. The Pines, very, very wooded, going through the forest part of it, and the Ridge has all of the views. You're again up on the Ridge, still trees, but not necessarily as piney as the Pines are. But really a nice day. I mean, we got there, able to interview Rylee. She was great. I've heard nothing but good things about her. I have a couple different connections of people that know her, and it was really great that to finally put a name to a face, and have a great conversation with her about a number of things, but and then being able to play with her, it was, I'll tell you, every time you play with somebody like that who's a pro, and she played we played the back tees there, she played from the back with us. She just hits arrows. Does nothing wrong ever, and it's amazing when like you put that consistency together. Where, Mike, you can do it more than I can, but even I can roll a couple pars in a row, and it was just fairway, green, 2-putt, fairway, green, 2-putt. And so when you play with someone like that's that good and that consistent, it's the consistency that really gets you, because you're, people have put it together for a hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, but when you're able to do it just for a consistent amount of holes, and then you add in, like, she chipped in on 1 hole, and then being able to throw a dart and have it spin and stop and right next to the hole for some tap-ins, it really shows how good golfers are when you're watching it live. And by watching it live, I mean like playing with the person, not actually out there watching. So it was a great day. Course was in phenomenal shape. I think I've mentioned on this podcast that I have a problem seeing colors. Purple, black, navy blue all look the same to me. So it's not necessarily, I can see colors, but it's like the shades of the colors that I have a tough time seeing. anyway, even I could see the colors of the trees that were changing with the leaves and that kind of stuff. So it was good to the course was popping. It was beautiful. It really was in great shape. Maybe the best shape I've ever seen it, to be perfectly honest. And then they've made a ton of changes to the banquet hall and the inside area, which again did just popped in to go to the bathroom, and much different inside. So it was really a great day, and not able to get 36 in. We played the Ridge, and then we played the Pines course, and it was again just another great day that we're having here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, first off, shout out to all those guys at Eagle Ridge. Huge supporters. They listen, they follow. Always sending me a couple texts and emails, saying they love what's going on. So,
thank you, fellas.
Yeah, hopefully they catch this one too. But, listen, I've been fortunate. Dad's been pretty successful over at Eagle Ridge. Won the club championship there multiple times. So, we get out there often. And for someone who plays there, not nearly as much as those guys, my dad's group, but I get out there. I thought the course was unbelievable. I don't know how many times I felt like I said that to Rylee specifically, like the colors on the trees, the lush green, fairways, the rough was perfect length. It wasn't spotty. It wasn't like, it was just perfect. I can't lie. I left there and I said, wow, like I had to call my dad and say, listen, that place right now is in beautiful, beautiful shape. And, they do a very good job for what the resources they have over there. And I listen, I can't say enough great things about when I left. I was blown away. And then when you play with Rylee, that was the first time I ever got to play with her. And I had no idea what to expect. And listen, she was all about jumping on the black tees with us. And, there was no misses. Like you and I are spraying the ball. I topped the ball off the first tee. Hit some bad shots here, But she gets up there just like darts, one after another. If she misses it, it's 2-3 yards, I'm sure, off her intended line. Where like we miss it, but we're lucky we find the ball. So just watching her hit the ball, you see why that she's so successful on the NJPGA in terms of winning back-to-back women's tournaments and being so successful, because I felt like that when she missed a shot, she missed it by 3-4 yards. It was nothing that like when we miss it like I did on the first hole where you just cold hard top it off the tee. Like she jumped to the back tees with us, no questions asked. So listen, it was an honor being out there, and then on top of playing with her, getting to talk to her for about an hour beforehand, her inviting us out there to see the facility, like her whole staff was beyond nice in terms of getting us a golf cart, letting us ride around, letting us film some content while we're out there. So, I just can't stress enough, like she's a great person. She's at a great facility. You're in the area. You may not know of that spot, or you never may have heard of that spot, but I'm telling you what, they got 27 holes out there, and boy, oh boy, like from the back tees, you better bring your A game, because it is definitely a challenge from back there.
Yeah, you really do. And like I said, we didn't get to play all 27, but I know that we've both played all 27. And Pines and the Ridge were in as good a shape as I'd ever seen them, and my favorite is the Links. So I can tell you that I'm sure it was in great shape as well.
All right, Rye. So, obviously when we talked about Stanton Ridge, we talked about, the different 9 holes and some of the holes that may have stood out to you. I guess I'll start by asking you this question first because, I'm a little more familiar with the golf course. Like, what holes or what 9 did you like from what we played? Or even on the link side that we didn't get a chance to get out to, but you've played it before. What stood out to you?
So I think I don't want to say any of the links holes because I haven't played it this summer. I haven't been down there. And since we didn't play them, I can't I can't grade what I can't see, right? So I think my favorite holes there, that par 3, is it the third hole? One goes out.
Yeah, down
two
the hill.
goes down the hill. That's
Yeah.
a enormous looking par 3. There's like that ravine between that and the next hole that makes it look more.
Yeah, that's an environmentally protected area.
Yeah, and it's and then there's that huge bunker. It seems cavernous, like you have all this room. It's a nice par 3, and those bunkers are deep. The one in front is really, I mean, you got a lip of like 5, 6, 7 feet to get up there, to get up and over. So that one's really good. I do also really like not the next hole, so that's 3, 4, 5, the par 5. I really like that hole as well. I'm not sure exactly why. The green is tough. It's a 2-tier green. You're kind of, you know what? I think I like the idea of kind of teeing off out of the chute there.
Yeah, it's fun.
You kind of have, yeah. I don't, even though you can't see it, but if you were watching it, it might be cool. I like that hole, and always have. It even though I played it really awfully the other day, I like that hole.
Yeah, I mean, those are two good holes right there on the front. Was there anything on the pine side that stood out to you?
The par 3, again, I don't know what it is about the par 3s. The par 3 one must be the second hole.
Yep.
I had never played it from where the tee boxes were, so you have to go like up on top there. That was really cool to see. Just a beautiful hole, which was really awesome. The two other holes that I really liked, the par 5, that's 6, so 15. So I guess it's not the 6 hole anymore. That par 5, again, that's teeing off from like up on top of the ridge, and then down. That's always a nice hole. But to me, the finishing hole, the 18th there, is tremendous. It's a beautiful looking hole. Again, we talk about it a lot. I like how you could sit. If the bar restaurant was open, you could sit there or have people there and watch. And I think that's cool. I liked that. It's a challenge. You can either kind of lay up or lay off on your drive a little bit, and then have a longer tee shot in, and you'd lay off your drive because it's a narrower landing zone because that bunker kind of comes into play, and then you got trees on the right, trees and like just brush, I guess it would be. There's nothing. There's not a bunker over there. There's no water over there, so I guess it would just be like a wasteland. And have an easier, a shorter shot onto the green. So that's a great hole, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I think when I think about that place, I think for me, there's one hole on all 3 nines that I think is like the nicest, the hardest, the most challenging. Like, there's no doubt when I think about the original front 9 or the ridge, like number 5, the par 5 is just so good. Like you said, you're teeing off out of a chute, par 5, dog leg left. Can't really get there in 2 unless you really hit a really good drive from the back tees or you get a good bounce. So for the most part, it's a layup. You can try to rip a 3-wood and get as close as you can. But then you got a nice 2-tier green with a little water on the left with a bunker that kind of protects you before you enter the water. So I think 5 is definitely the nicest and best hole on the ridge. When I think about the pines, there's just something about that 3rd hole on the pines. It's a tough tee shot. Again, you got trees hanging on the right side. You got the bunker perfectly placed on the left. So you got to kind of hit it before the bunker or be aggressive and try to take it past it. But if you miss it in any which direction, you got the pine trees on the left, you got the woods area on the right,
Super
but then,
tight.
Yeah, super tight. And then if you hit a good drive, you feel good, but then you're going into a green that's got water all on the right-hand side. You got bunkers in the back part of it. You got a grass bunker on the front left part of it. You got a very challenging, hard to read green. So to me, I always look at like number 3 on the Pines as definitely the hardest hole there, and always for whatever reason just gives me fits on. And then, I know we didn't play it, but when you think about the links course, that to me is their best 9 that they have out there. And it's so challenging from the back tees. It's so long from the back tees. And really, like you said earlier, like it makes you hit every club in your bag. Like if you're not hitting it well, it's just hard. And I think the one hole that stands out the most to me on that side is the 9th hole there. That last hole, it's got to play 450 from the back tees. The second shot is over, a penalty area / environmentally protected area. Mm-hmm. So you got to hit a solid second shot, and your second shot's easily going to be, 200, 215. Even if you hit a good one, you still got a long way to go because you're not getting much roll on a drive there. And then you got a tough green that's, again, surrounded. You got a bunker on the left. You got a huge tree that kind of overhangs on the right. So, again, those are the 3 holes to me that are, like, unique. They're aesthetically pleasing. They're challenging. But then they're also fun. So, listen, all in all, I thought that place was probably in the best shape I've ever seen it. And I don't say that lightly because I've been over there a lot and I've played it a lot. But just seeing the colors and seeing the grass, the fairways were well kept, the greens were rolling. Like, listen, I left there and I couldn't say a single bad thing about it. I really couldn't.
Yeah, again, I completely agree with you. And you would know better than I would because you played it so many times. And I feel like, again, I'm trying to picture the holes on the links because, like you said, the 9th is a great finishing hole. That one I can picture. And I can picture the hole that I do like as well, but I don't know what hole it is where there's you're hitting up to the fairway. It's like a blind tee shot up onto the fairway with like the cliff on the left-hand side. I don't know the hole number on the back because, again, I don't know it that well, but when I'm there, I know exactly, I don't know the order that they're in. But anyway, I love that hole as well.
Yeah, so I mean, to kind of recap it, I thought, we were fortunate to play 2 good spots. I had a great interview and talk with Rylee. It was a pleasure playing 9 holes with her there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you look for. I guess, like in life, you're just looking to have like do good stuff, like have better days than the day before, right? Like keep the negative days low, keep the negative things low. Just keep turning over some good days, good things, and it really was. We had a couple good days this week that were really, really good.
Agreed.
All right, Mike. So before we make the turn and send you to the Rylee Plitz interview, let's pop into the halfway house.
Tom Allen, Randy Tranger, 2 board-certified trial attorneys who share more than 40 years of legal experience. Can't beat that. They specialize in personal injury matters, workers' compensation cases, and criminal and municipal defense. As certified trial attorneys, they have recovered millions of dollars on behalf of people injured in accidents and employees injured at work. They have offices conveniently located in Freehold and Point Pleasant. For skilled and personalized legal representation, call Mallon and Tranger at 732-780-0230 or check out their website at tmallonlaw.com. Not only are they good people, they're good golfers too. So here we go. I want to welcome everybody here. We have a unique opportunity to be at Eagle Ridge Golf Club interviewing the head pro, Rylee Plitz. And before we get started, I'm going to give you guys some background of Rylee. Not sure if you know, but she originally is from Canada. She played her collegiate golf at Monmouth University, where she was an absolute stud. One of only a handful in the NEC history to finish top 10 at the NEC Championships in each of her 4 years at Monmouth. And then also in 2007, Rylee finished second at the NEC Championships. In 2008, she was hired as an assistant golf professional here at Eagle Ridge. In 2012, she was elevated to director of instruction. And then 2017 was promoted to head golf professional, where she stands now. She recently won the women's 95th NJ PGA Championship at Manasquan River, making that back-to-back victories in that event. And then finally, she was recognized as the 2022 Public Merchandiser of the Year and Junior Player Development Award recipient from the NJ PGA, while also being recognized in 2021 as the Player Development Award winner. So listen, I want to thank Rylee. I want to thank you for having us here today at Eagle Ridge. This is a rare thing for us to actually not only get someone like you here on our show, but also get to the golf course itself. So I want to thank you a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
So, I mean, to get us started here, obviously I went through a huge list of accolades there, and I know it's kind of like a humble brag in a sense. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, so growing up in Canada, played golf in the summer, played ice hockey in the winter. So yeah, it was kind of either or, didn't really get an option. I have an older brother, so playing hockey, my dad coached, mom was the cheerleader. So yeah, it was really up until maybe 15, 16-year-old that I realized I could maybe do something with one of them, and I just kind of went the golf route, and I had a pretty successful junior career up there, made some teams, did some traveling, and then, yeah, just kind of got some recruited, made a trip out here, and really haven't looked back. Came out here in 2004, yeah, played 4 years at Monmouth, and it was great. It was awesome. Had awesome teammates, and like I said, you get to, we played Hollywood, we played here, we played up at Sun Eagles, so just to kind of have that experience and some traveling, and then again, just never left. We got hooked up here with, so my coach at the time, Sherry McDonald, was the director of instruction here, so I was always here, not really able to go home much, so I was here on weekends and practicing, and just kind of got connected with some of the staff here, and Kevin Byrne was great, so that they kind of eventually just brought me on once I graduated, and again, haven't looked back, and it's been quite the run. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, no
This is
doubt.
a tough. I mean, we say it all the time, and like one of the things that me and my friends talk about is that like this is a vacation spot. Like if you go to some places around here, like even in Point, or like you talk about, like if you're from Kansas and you go like, oh, I went to this place like Jenks and Point Pleasant, like you're telling people about that, and that's like something that we take for granted. Like Seabright, the same thing. Highlands, the same thing. It's an awesome area. This like Monmouth, Ocean County shore bubble. So
Yeah,
like going to school at Monmouth is like it's a fantasy camp for
Yeah.
most people, but like
Yeah.
we take it for granted. That
Sure.
it's 10 minutes from where
Yeah,
we
and
live.
that's kind of, I mean, I did a little traveling, kind of like Montana, Washington, and that was it. But to be East Coast, it was a very different experience to see the water and see the ocean. I mean, I'm from mountains, so
Yeah.
it's very unique, and yeah, to live somewhere where people vacation is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Where in Canada are you
So,
from?
originally was born in Winnipeg. My dad was a police officer, so we got transferred every 4 or 5 years. So I've been kind of in a couple different provinces, but we eventually moved out west. So I'm about an hour north of Calgary, which my dad still lives. So yeah, kind of right above Montana, Idaho.
Gotcha. Okay.
Quite a few hours north.
All right. So you, the ratio between people and elk or moose, is that 1-to-1 up there?
Yeah, it could
or
be
is
very
that-
close.
Okay.
Very close. The funny thing, which I always tell my husband too, is yeah, you want to swerve for a moose, but you can hit a deer if you want to, right? That's what my dad always said.
That's a good one. So kind of getting into your background, I know obviously player development is a huge thing for you, and I know from talking to other professionals and even high school golfers and college golfers, you know, they come to you, and how you've transformed, you know, your academy here is unbelievable. I think it's one of the things that I know that people talk very highly of. They respect the work that you put in. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that area?
Yeah, I think just, I mean, again, having kind of Sherry look up to, and she did a lot of work here and to kind of follow in her footsteps, and then Kevin Byrne was just amazing at what he kind of did, and he was a coach at OCC as well as kind of being the head golf professional here. So it just kind of, not that it fell into my lap, but it was easy, and I like it. So I think you obviously have to like it, and the kids part of it too. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's I don't have kids, so these are my kids here, and it's a lot of fun. Like I said, to come to work every day, and every day's different, but yeah, to be able to kind of, I don't know, just react to players for the first time, or to kids that never picked up a golf club. Yeah, it's just something that I think I strive to really maybe put Eagle Ridge Golf Academy kind of somewhere, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that, and we have something for everyone here, which is nice. So like I said, you get that brand new 6-7-year-old golfer, or someone that's played for 30 years. Like, we can handle that all. So it's yeah, it's been awesome, and I think it'll be part of me wherever I go. So wherever that is.
Sure. And I'm sure seeing them grow, like, you've been here long enough, you've been teaching now long enough that you've probably had a few of the 6-7-year-olds that are now
Freshmen in college.
right, okay. So like you've kind of seen them grow up, and
Yeah.
you know, Mike and I both coach, so like we run basketball camps, and like we've had kids from 5th grade that are now seniors in college. Like, some of my ex-players are now like out, and seeing them in that same way is really cool to see that go all the way through, and move from like you were working with them as like little kids to now they're peers and even friends.
Yes, that's most definitely. That's exactly. I have one kid especially, God, my 2nd year, so he might have been 6 years old, and he just started just into New York Dominican College as a freshman. So it's crazy, right, to have a 6-year-old and to know them almost their entire life. Like, it's weird, it's fun, it's yeah, like I said, when it was almost like me sending my kid off to college.
I was gonna
like,
say
I can
mom
only
and Jace, or like an aunt, or like it's definitely for sure.
Yeah, it's so, but yeah, now they're more friends, and a lot of them work here now, so they've kind of started in the programs, and like I said, now they're kind of, one's my assistant, and I've known him for 14 years. So
What are the programs in terms of, like, if compared to like a beginner golfer, to say, you know, that high school golfer that's getting competitive, that wants to go play in college, like, what are some of the things that you do to differentiate the type of work that you're doing?
yeah, so I mean, as far as we have a ton of stuff for beginners, especially kids. I mean, we've done our own junior camps in the summertime, and then a new kind of thing the last 10 years is the PGA Junior League. It's like the little league for golf, so that's been fantastic. And junior kids, the kids that are more beginners, or that want to play like in these tournaments in the summertime, so they can all play this, which is really fun to see. But yeah, then we'll specify just in like high school strictly. So right now we run like a fall high school league. So some of these kids, they're not going to have the time, especially in the winter time when the weather kind of gets not very nice out, to actually play. So now we're, like I said, kind of giving them the chance. Every Sunday we spend 4 hours with them going to the golf course. So I think that's the thing too, is for these kids, is to get them out there. They can learn so much at the range and hit golf balls and take lessons, but go play. Like, that's where a lot of our classes and clinics, like, they'll incorporate golf course time. I think that's so important for them.
For sure. Yeah, that's definitely something where, like, the practice is always good. Like, you need to spend time on the range working on stuff, and you know, they say, you know, hitting, you know, doing something 2,000 times or whatever the number is. That nobody's gonna fall in love with that, though. Nobody's gonna fall in love with golf by hammering out range balls. Like, getting them on the golf course, getting them on the baseball field, basketball court. Those, like, playing your sport is how you fall in love with it.
Right. Yeah, and just keeping it fun, because you want them. They're so, gosh, I mean, they're so vulnerable too at that age that, yeah, you want them coming back. So it does, not that it does matter that we're teaching them, but I think fun and them smiling and wanting to come back is just so important.
Yeah.
So we try and do that here for everything.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Awesome.
I think fun is the key, especially at a young age. Like, I got 2 little girls, and now it's been like, if I go, they want to come to at least ride the golf cart and just be with dad and do that type of thing. And if they want to get out and hit a few shots, it's like a home run for me. So I think the idea of fun is a huge point of emphasis in terms of finding ways to do that.
Yeah.
I guess, like, leading into, you know, becoming a head golf professional, it's a male-dominated field. And it is so hard for young girls or even women in college to say, like, I want to get in the field, but how can I break through? And I think, you know, I know you got yourself, you have Kathy over at Manasquan River, but I don't know many others in the field. Like, what advice or what would you say to a young girl that's like, I love the game, I love to teach, but in such a male-dominated field, like, how can I find a way to break through, or how did you break through?
Yeah, I think, I mean, especially here too, and having Sherry, but is we do a lot of women clinics as well. Not that male instructors are terrible or bad for female players, but I think especially beginner ladies, like, they want to take lessons from a female. So whether that, I mean, that's definitely, so that's kind of where I started, and I think that's where I kind of grew into a little bit. It's just, yeah, if you love it, just do whatever you can, because that's what, like, I love this game, and like I said, I love this place, and I love this job, so it's fun. It's hard work, it's a lot of hours, sure, but yeah, I think it's just, if it's something that you love to do, just go and do it. Yeah, there's a handful of females in the section. I would say more instructor based, which is fine, and I think that's, like I said, where you see that, because yeah, like, ladies want to play, like, they don't want to stay home, they're going to send their kids, or kids grow up, like, they want to get out there, whether it's with friends or with husbands, spouses, whatever it is. So yeah, I think it's just to kind of just stick with it. Like I said, it'll pay off in the long run, and it really has.
Are you the only head golf professional?
I believe I'm one of two in the state.
So I know Kathy assists Chris over at Manasquan River. I didn't know if, like, you were that.
Yeah, so I believe Lisa Jensen up at Rutgers. She's still up there. She's the head golf professional. So yeah.
Rutgers, like the golf course at the. We were just talking about that the other day. So
I just got up there.
Yeah, I've always kind of wanted to get up there. I've heard good things, and like it's kind of like maybe you know better. I've heard that it's like this, like the golf course management program at Rutgers. It's like their senior seminar, like, so they take care of it for like their spring semester.
I have heard a little bit of that. Yeah, I'm not too familiar, but
so I had heard that, and I was like, that's the coolest thing. Like, I like that. Like, let me go. And you really can, like, when I went and played, the first 3 holes were really well kept. And then you could tell that, like, they took, like, that kid's getting an A in college right now. And then you could tell, like, other ones were just, like, where details in other holes were missing in some holes. And, like, if you're not looking for it, or you don't know it, maybe you don't notice it, but, like, it was really pretty. Well, I kept thinking about it through the round, be like, okay, this kid's like a B average, this kid's getting an A. Like, it was just kind of like, you know, as a teacher, and then as someone who's like, I was great. But that place was really cool. It's not world beaten. It's, you know, it was like, I think it tipped out at like 6,100, and it was just like, it was. If you're in New Jersey, you got to go play the course.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like super, you know, it's not like taking a trip to like Valley Owen or like out to Bethpage or anything like that. But it's like, it was a really nice day of golf. It really was.
I think it's on the list of. Well, it should be on the list of most people. We played a lot there in college, but yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about this place? You know, obviously I know that it's 27 holes, and when it originated, it was only 18, and then, you know, they built the 9-hole course, or an additional 9, I should say, on the links side, which I think personally is the best 9 out here. I think it's the most challenging 9. I think from the back tees, it is like you got to have your A game there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the facility here?
Yeah, I mean, we're a very busy semi-private golf course. So yeah, 27 holes. Do a handful of outings, member events. We have, don't quote me, but we're probably at 130 members, and we do like a public kind of discounted card as well, so we kind of count them as almost like half members. But it's busy. I think last year we were roughly around like 45,000 rounds, so it's a busy place. Like I said, the academy, it's busy there as well. But yeah, I mean, the condition, I would say, gosh, the last couple of years is just, it's grown, and it's such a fun place. It really is. The golf course itself, we're just so lucky. I think we still get people here that are like, oh, I had no idea you're here. I'm like, gosh, we were here in '99, and people still don't know that. Like, I wasn't around then down here, but it's like, man, yeah, it's such a little hidden gem, and I
Sure. Yeah, it is.
maybe we get a bad rap of where we are, but it's yeah, like I said, we're just lucky.
Yeah.
We're definitely lucky. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Pat McMahon is a superintendent.
He is,
And I think, I don't know how long he's been doing that for.
I don't know in the business, but I think he's been here, 7 years.
Yeah,
I want to say.
what he's done and what he does is a really, really good job.
Yeah.
You can tell, like to Ryan's point about Rutgers, you can see when people put the time and effort in, because when you come and you're not someone who's here all the time and you see the little nuances that Ryan was saying, like that carries a lot of weight, and you can see that Pat and his crew, like, they work.
Yeah.
And he does a phenomenal job. Because
Yeah.
obviously most places are just 18 holes, and he not only has additional 9, he's got a range, he's got a lot of things underneath.
Yeah,
his belt.
definitely. Yeah, like I said, I mean, our range is busy as well. A little short game area, practice green. Yeah, so they're always out here, and they do such a good job for who they have. I mean, like everywhere now in this time in the golf business, of you can't hire enough people, and I don't know if people just don't want to get in there, or it's too much hours, or whatever it is. But yeah, he's been a rock star here, and we're so grateful for it.
I'd even counter with that, like not counter, but add to that before he came in, I remember playing it a few times, decade ago maybe, and being like, all right, not really worth my time. Like it's 40 minutes to get down here for me, and since he's been here, this has been like a place where I've been like, I gotta get down there this summer. Like it's a good, it kind of is, like you said, it's kind of in the middle of not a lot of other golf courses. It doesn't have a lot of competition, but it is kind of in the middle of nowhere. But you got to kind of get, but he's done a phenomenal job of like bringing it back to be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to go down there. To be like 27 holes and having that, the facility and everything. I don't know him at all, but he's done a great job.
Thank
of,
you.
Like,
Yeah.
bringing the course to
Yeah.
a must come to.
Definitely. Yeah, I hope so, because like I said, I mean, we want people to really experience this place, and I don't think many people have. So yeah, to kind of reach people that are maybe from the north or wherever, and we're so centralized, like an hour. I mean, I feel like for us, an hour, like we got to drive an hour to get somewhere, right? So you get the New York, you get the Philly. We're kind of right there, and people come to the shore. So it's to kind of add it to everyone's list. So
I think one of the things that you guys also, and credit to you and your crew, is the social media aspect of things that you guys have really kind of jumped into. And I know some places are a little hesitant to do it because even Ryan and I are learning, it's a lot of work. It's like a 24/7 job where you got to post something, you got to put a picture out, you got to put a comment out, a story, whatever the case is. But I feel like you guys in the last, let's say, 18 months or so really kind of went both feet in on that. And I think your presence on social media has got to have helped in terms of really getting the name out there, promoting the brand even more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our GM, Alan Depew, he's been great. He's got his own podcast. So it's, I think he realizes how important everything kind of is for that. And yeah, if we want to get our name out, we want people to know that we're here, know that we're still here. Yeah, we're going to have to kind of push that out there. So yeah, it's just become just part of our daily kind of activity of what we're going to do. So if we're out doing a junior camp or whatever, or on the golf course, like it's nice to showcase that online. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's the pictures I see all the time that whoever runs that Instagram account does a phenomenal job, because I look at it like, man, it'd be nice to just get out there and play right now. Because I see it, I like it, I'm like, it's a nice drive right there in 10, So I think, having family here and knowing a lot of the members here as well, like, it wasn't like that years ago. It really, really wasn't. And now you see that that's kind of the world we live in, and you guys and Alan have done a really good job diving into that. So the next thing I saw that you just recently did was you played in the I want to make sure I get this name correct, the Folds of Honor.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit? I mean, 108 holes I saw.
That's right.
In one day is like no joke.
It was almost 8 hours. We did 7 hours and 55 minutes on this past Monday. So yeah, the Folds of Honor was started by I don't know the exact military rank, so I do apologize if I get this wrong. Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney. He's a PGA member, obviously in the military as well. So he started this years ago to basically help out fallen soldiers, their families, people that come back, and their kids, and give them scholarships. So it's just a no-brainer. We did it last year, but this year was the amount of response that we got from people and donations and We had four, including myself, professionals. So what we do is basically 2 alternate shots. Ends up being 108 holes because we're partners for 36 holes. We kind of switch every 36. We actually played pretty well, which is crazy. we have a
ton of birdies.
Yeah, like a quarter of the holes.
I saw that.
Yeah, so
wow. It wasn't like we're just slapping it
so
around.
no. So now we're thinking. I think that's the way. So K-Mac, our buddy, he's up at Colonia, and then Kathy was here, and then my husband Joe Murphy, who's a PGA professional as well. Yes, we all participated, but yeah, I think Kevin was kind of like, man, I think I should play like this more often. Like, what is happening? He was throwing darts, and it was like, all right, I guess. Now I got to make the putt. This 10-footer, I'm just kind of walking up and trying to hit. But yeah, we were close to raising almost $12,000 just at this event. We raised almost $7,500 on Memorial Day weekend, so almost $20,000. That'll give them 4 scholarships, and it's just something that just last night, I mean, Joe and I are talking, what can we do to make this bigger, better, grander? So we're excited for what's going to be kind of next year. Like I said, it's an amazing foundation. And something like I said, most PGA professionals will kind of take part in. So,
is it a once a year thing that happens, or is it a multiple event?
Yeah. So the Memorial Day weekend is Patriot Golf Day, and that's kind of in conjunction with Folds of Honor. So this year is what they did. That weekend was 100% proceeds are going to stay in your state. So that's kind of where it really, I think, hit home to a lot of people here. We just did a closest to the pin contest. We did some donations, and yeah, to get that much money on 4 days. Obviously, we had perfect weather, but it's yeah. And then the whole 100 holes, I think they do it. It's right around kind of Veterans Day, so it's October 25th to the 11th of November. That they kind of encourage everyone to participate in something like this.
So you got to pick your day, your course, where it's a little slower.
Definitely. Yeah, and having 27 holes here is perfect. Like I said, I think we're already thinking like more pros, like how we can kind of make this into more of an event to just raise as much money as we can. So
yeah, you definitely have the space here.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's awesome.
So I know you had known Jeff Carswell, and I know he did it a couple years ago at Cold Snack, and him and the kid that he did it with, they played holes 1 and 2 there. You know, they're on the other side.
Oh, geez.
So they went 1 and 2 and played it before anyone teed off. So I think they teed off at like 7 o'clock or something like that. Everyone else was teeing off at 8.
Right.
So they were able to play 1 and 2 like 25 times before they even, and then they went over to because they're only dealing with 18, so they got to get you know, they can't like block off a hole, and then they went and played, and then just were jumping through everybody. But yeah, it was wild to watch because they were just down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back. Yeah.
Now, did you play all 9? Did you go from 1 9 to the next 9? How'd you make that all work?
We didn't. So we stuck to the Ridge 9, so 1 through 9 here, one of our original 18s. Yeah, we started about 8:30. We had, 5 or 6 volunteers, my staff, which are all either kind of ex-military, ex-police. It's like a common theme here, so we're pretty safe here. But yeah, so we just kind of went. They're great. They get yardages. They kind of spot golf balls for us, so we're able to just, someone hits, when they're teeing off, someone's like driving right to the fairway, and there's golf balls kind of, we have to be a little safe, but yeah, it's just once that ball lands, you're hitting, person from the tee box just going to the green. So yeah, our fastest 9 was 30 minutes.
Oh my God, ball in hole. 30
Oh yeah.
minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, there's really no pickups.
Are you in the same golf cart, or do you have your
No,
own
it's separate.
golf cart?
So there was like 10
So
carts.
you're teeing off,
Yeah.
your partner's in the fairway,
Yep.
ready to hit, and then you're going straight to
Yes,
the...
it's awesome. It's so much fun. I think that's where, like, Kathy, I think it might have took, because Joe and I did it last year with my 2 assistants, but Kathy and Kevin this year, I think it took them a few holes to kind of get the gist and how are we doing this, but once it was, we were just moving. So it's it's a lot of fun. Obviously we slowed down a little bit at the end, but to finish within, we're done at 4:30 and at home at 5, and it was perfect.
Did you
Another
lose
day.
any golf balls?
I think we lost 3.
Okay.
We lost 3. 1 we couldn't find, leaf rule, and then I think we put 2 in the water. So it wasn't too bad.
That's impressive. When I saw the numbers, and I was like, oh my God, that's not only a lot of holes, but the duration at 30 minutes, I saw that, and then the birdies made, I was like, wow, so we're not just like slapping it around, like we're playing golf all around here. Yeah, that was super impressive.
Yeah.
I'd
say this, so I'm involved in the Tunnelson Tower, and they're the golf outing that they do at Eagle Oaks, and the idea is that they build houses for catastrophically wounded service people now. If there's anything we can do next year, certainly let us know. I'd love to get involved in that, because that's an incredible feat to play that many. But even if it's just can we post something or do something, you certainly let us know when that time comes, because that would be
I
an
don't know if you
incredible
want us
thing.
to play because I don't know, well, we're not making that.
No, for
many
sure.
birdies.
you need us to spot or something, then we can help out with that.
We're definitely not making that many birdies. So. And I guess, like, kind of moving on, obviously, like, you yourself is you are a very good player, and you can, get that ball around clearly by, the folds of honor. Like, what would you tell an aspiring high school golfer, male or female, that is competitive, but they're looking to take it to the next level? Like, what are some things or some areas of weakness or drills even that you would say, like, hey, listen, I think this is where most kids don't spend enough time, they need to spend more time, and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, so growing up with an older brother I've still yet to beat him. He's a very good player. He played professionally for a couple years. So having that kind of partner to try and beat, to want to beat, we're very competitive. And I don't know if kids now, unfortunately, don't really have that, whether it's someone else or just that competitive drive a little bit. But I think it's, even if you're by yourself, like, and I stress this to all my kids here, and they roll their eyes at me, but like, short game. Kids don't spend enough time in it. They always want to go to the range, hit as far as they can. And I will tell these kids, and they know that, if they said to me, oh, Rylee, like, I hit it X yardage, okay, well, what'd we make, right? What'd we do from there? Because it's always, well, I parred, I bogeyed. Well, we shouldn't. So if we're hitting it that far, okay, let's get some work on some short game, because that's how we're gonna, like I said, make those birdies, get better. That's where that next level is. And gosh, I mean, like I said, my brother is, no one, unfortunately, really doesn't impress me because of how good he is, and what he can do to the golf ball. So it's kind of, and seeing that, like, he can get up and down from everywhere, and it's just, like I said, trying to get these kids to kind of get to that point. Like I said, I want them to be creative and have fun with it. But yeah, I think it's almost like they get, like I said, down themselves if they like miss a green or whatever, and they don't hit it in the fairway. Well, have some fun. Like, let's learn to play some different shots as well, because not everything's gonna be perfect. That's for sure. I mean, yeah, there's rounds that you're not gonna hit any fairways, but if you hit some greens and make some putts, you're gonna score. And that's where I hopefully can kind of get these kids to understand that, yeah, anything within that 100 yards, like, let's be pretty proficient at it. So
I say it all the time. I enjoy that I get to see a lot of the golf course as I go in all different places. Mike's just fairway, green, one or two
Boring,
putt.
right?
Like, yeah, that nobody wants it. You didn't see any nature, right? You get to go. It's fall time. You get to see the leaves change. Go try to find your
He
ball.
asked me one time, I don't know, like, how many golf balls are, we're taking one golf ball. Like, all we need is one golf ball. Like, we're going to hit this golf ball, and we're going to end the round with this golf ball.
No, because I'm still at a point, like, I play a lot of golf, but I'm a 12 handicap, so like I'm not bad. I can string some together, like, but then I can also go, like, I can go par, bogey, par, and then triple, double, triple is certainly, like, I know that it's there. So like, if I'm at the point in my golf game, if I finish with a golf, like, if I played one golf ball, it was a good round. I played. It doesn't matter what the score is. That was a positive round.
And speaking to your brother too, didn't I just see that he qualified for the USGA Mid-Am? Yeah, I saw that. That was a big accomplishment.
that was, yeah, Aaron Hills, and I'm not too sure who's on the course out there, but yeah, he lost in the round of 32. So to be able to get through stroke play and then get into match play, so yeah, he did kind of a different fun fact. But the guy that he beat first round just recently won the Crump Cup.
Oh wow!
So yeah, that's a pretty good kind of.
The Crump Cup is played at Pine Valley, right? I did just see that because that's where, like, a lot of the big time amateurs. Sure. Is it a mid-am tournament or all different amateurs? I think
so. Yeah.
Because there were a lot of big names out there when I saw that.
Yeah. So yeah, he had a great time out there, and like I said, it was fun watching that. I have, but it's not from the same tee, so it doesn't count to him.
Well, it counts because
in my world,
it would count in my world though too. I mean, like,
his world.
Yeah, he's playing the backs and I'm playing my tee box, you know. But, and I guess for you, like, what is your tee box? Are you going all the way up to what are quote the ladies? Sure. Are you playing the blues, the whites? Like, for example, here, like, if we were to go to play, what tee box are you playing?
Here, I would play blues. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's more just yardage.
So what's, like, comfortable for you?
Comfortable is like anywhere between 6 and 62. Like once it kind of goes past that, it's a little stretch. But our events that I play in the section, they'll do, I think it's 80 or 85% of what the guys do. So it's a little bit shorter if it's 55, 56, which would be close to like our white tees. So, but yeah, I think just kind of being used to blue tees, and it's a good mix here. Like I said, you can kind of use every club in the bag as well. So,
you know, we always have a couple questions to wrap it up, and I'll let Brian ask the last one. But like for New Jersey golfers that are like looking to play, and obviously this is, you know, a place that we would obviously recommend to people, but if you take your bias away from here, you know, what are some spots that you would recommend, maybe that are, you know, semi-private, public, private, that if people had the opportunity and were invited to go play, that's a different story, but like, where would you recommend, or what are some places you think highly of?
Around here?
Yeah, just in the state, in general. Like, if, you know, going up and down, because clearly in New Jersey, there's all different areas. You got to have the sandy dunes in South Jersey, you can have the ocean, the rivers, you can have the mountains, like, there's so much here.
Yeah, it's crazy, and we're pretty fortunate and lucky too. We've played a lot of pretty cool places. I think around here, I'm always a fan of like the Monmouth County courses. Like, I know being out of county and maybe priced for some people, but man, like Charleston has to be one of my favorites. I played Baltimore a couple years ago, and man, that was different. And I was like, it kind of almost reminded me of like back home. And like I said, it really kind of suited my eye a little bit. CU's always a good time. I haven't played too many, say, public courses up north. Like I said, in the section, we're very fortunate to play some really cool places. So that was kind of where I guess my time spent. But like I said, any of the both Charleston are just one of the, like I said, I could go there today and be just happy.
Do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, I was going to say, what is, like, if I asked you the number one spot, we'd go right now.
I just meant between Charleston, north and south.
Okay.
But we'll
I like
Mike's too, yeah.
Okay, between the two, I like North. Yeah, North is definitely.
What's up?
All right.
Mike likes the South better.
I think the South is when I have to ride out to the
over the big bridge.
Yeah, the South to me is the harder of the two.
I would agree.
And that's kind of
that's why I like the North.
So to me, it's always like, let me just give me the hardest thing and let me just be miserable out there, or let me be like, I just shot a career ready. You know? So like I can see that.
I like the idea and the I like links golf better. Like the idea of like I don't spin the ball enough, so like the idea of letting it kind of hit before and run up. Like I like that idea, and I can do that at Charleston North. I can be my golf. So I've only broken 80 5 times. 3 are at Charleston North.
Nice.
Because whatever it is, I like that course. I like that link style. I like that. I know I don't have to hit trees and worry about where the ball went. Like it was good.
Yes.
You can play with that one golf ball.
I did. Yeah.
And then so like. Obviously, that is one of your favorites, but what would you say is like number one? You could go there and play public, private, semi-private, whatever the case is, and I'm taking Eagle Ridge out of the options.
Oh, I should have thought about this before. Number one.
Kind of put you on the spot here. I know you asked me for some questions, but I didn't
tell me anything.
You said nothing. I said, we're just going to just talk.
Oh, shoot. Gosh, I think, oh, man. Where I really like where we could go now. Hamilton Farm is pretty cool. I got the chance to play Plainfield this year, but I think lower at Balstraw this year, that was pretty special. So I could go there right now.
Yeah, that it's funny you say the lower, because when we interviewed Corey Brigham on our first interview, we asked him that same question, and he had nothing. Obviously there's a lot of great tracks, and he's a very good player in his own right, and he had mentioned the lower at Balstraw. He's like, I don't know how you can do that.
Yeah, it's pretty special there.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
So the other way, we like to end that way, and there's one other thing, like golfers are pretty quirky people by nature, I think. Is there any kind of like quirk or superstition that you have that like when you go out and play, you have to have like a quarter in your pocket, you got to have, a ball you're playing, a ball in the other pocket? Is there like number of tees? Like what is there kind of like what's your quirk? Because everybody has one. We don't necessarily want to talk about it.
It's so funny because he asked it and everybody just kind of eyes light up like, I got that.
Right? I'm also a weirdo. Yeah, exactly.
So we're all together.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think the big thing, it's just pocket. It's routine, obviously, but what's in the pocket? It's 2 tees, divot repair, It's kind of a bigger ball marker and one that's a flat ball marker.
Like a poker chip.
Yep.
And a flat one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when do you decide to use either one?
If I'm in someone's way, I think it's as I get closer, it's a small one. Get back, it's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
But yeah, 2 tees is always. I remember when I was 16, I was in my second playoff. It was for the last position on a team that I had to get to, and went away, kind of put everything back in my bag, and they're like, all right, we gotta go. All right, first tee. I didn't even need a tee, I don't think, and I just threw 2 tees in my pocket because it was just there. So, God, ever since I was,
Made the
years
team?
ago, I did.
And then there you go.
Yes,
The
I
team
did.
is-
So it's done.
There you go. That's great. So listen, I appreciate you inviting us
Thank you,
out
guys.
here and to be here and to talk to you for probably longer than you thought.
Sorry.
But that's typically how it goes when things are just easy. So I want to thank you for having us. And, I can't say it enough.
No, for sure. This is incredible. You allow us to come here, interview you, talk to you, and kind of pick your brain a little bit and tell us a little bit about your story.
Definitely.
This is incredible.
Yeah,
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah, and good luck to you guys, and appreciate everything.
Thank you.